everyone, my name is Aina. Today I want to read to you a book called The Elves and the Shoemaker. The Elves and the Shoemaker. Fairy Tale by the Brothers Grimm. Illustrated by Dominic Tybalt. Once upon a time, there was a shoemaker. Although he worked hard, he had very bad luck and became poorer and poorer. Finally, all he had and became poorer and poorer. Finally, all he had left was a piece of leather large enough to make just one pair of shoes. He cut out the pieces and prepared to sew them together. Then, because it was late, he left the pieces on his work table and went upstairs to bed. The next morning, he entered his shop. When he looked at the work table, the leather pieces were gone. In their place stood a beautiful pair of shoes. The shoemaker rubbed his eyes in disbelief. Then he called his wife in. She was just as surprised as he was. They looked for clues that would help them figure who had made the shoes. But they didn't find any. So they put the shoes in the shop window. Just then, a finely dressed gentleman came in. He admired a handsome shoes and bought them on the spot. Because they were so well made, he was happy to offer extra money for them. The shoemaker took the money and bought enough leather and supplies to make 2 pairs of shoes. He cut out the pieces and placed them on the work table. Then he went to bed. When the shoemaker and his wife entered the shop the next morning, there on the work table were 2 pairs of shoes. "How amazing!" exclaimed the shoemaker's wife. "Remarkable," replied the shoemaker, "and just look at how well they're made. The stitching is just as fine as it was on the shoes we found yesterday." The shoemaker and his wife were still admiring the new shoes when the lady and gentleman walked in. They thought the shoes were wonderful, and they bought them for any other customers came in. With the money, the shoemaker was able to buy enough leather for 4 pairs of shoes. Wow. was late in the day again when the honest shoemaker cut the ladder into pieces. Just as he had done before, he left the pieces on his work table and went to bed. When he awoke the next day, he found 4 pairs of shoes. This strange but wonderful pattern continued. For several weeks. Every evening, the shoemaker would cut the leather pieces, and in the morning he would find a finished pair of shoes. There were all kinds of shoes too. Shoes with laces, shoes with straps, shoes with high heels and shoes that were flat, decayed slippers, and sturdy boots. The mischievous shoemaker could make anything. Around the town walls spread out the beautiful shoes, and customers flocked to the shoemaker's shop. And he and his wife were no longer poor. In fact, they became very prosperous. One night, 2 days before Christmas, the shoemaker said to his wife, "Let's stay up tonight and see who has been so kind to us." His wife quickly agreed. So the shoemaker put the leather pieces on the work table, and then he and his wife hid behind the curtain. As the clock struck midnight, they saw 2 tiny elves squeeze through the slats and shutters, even though it was cold outside. They had no clothes on. The elves sat down at the work table and set to work. When the drag. Tap, tap went the hammers. How quickly they worked. In almost no time at all, they finished a pair of shoes. Elves kept working until they had made shoes from all the leather on the work table. Then they ran through the shutters into the cold night. The shoemaker and his wife looked at each other in amazement. "How can we thank these elves for all they have done for us?" asked the shoemaker. "They have nothing to wear, and it's winter," said his wife. "I will make some fine clothes, and I will make each of them a pair of shoes," said the shoemaker. They worked all day. His wife sewed suit, 2 tiny green jackets, 2 tiny yellow vests, two tiny pairs of white pants, and 2 tiny little red caps with feathers. Her husband made 2 tiny pairs of handsome, pointy-toed shoes. He decorated them with shiny buttons, and finally everything was ready. And just in time, it was Christmas Eve. The shoemaker cleaned off his work table and placed the handsome clothes where he usually laid out the pieces of leather. Then he and his wife hid behind the curtain to see what would happen. At midnight, the elves came skipping over to the table. At midnight, the elves came skipping over to the table. They were ready to start work. Then they spotted the clothes and stopped in their tracks. How surprised! They were quickly put on the new clothes. Everything fit perfectly. Then the elves began leaping and dancing and singing. Now that we look so fine and neat, we'll celebrate Christmas and play in the street. They were still singing this song and skipped out of the shop, never to return. The shoemaker and his wife smiled at each other. They were so pleased that gifts had made the elves so happy. Thanks to the elves, the shoemaker now had many customers. He and his wife were never poor again. The end. I'll let you see all the pictures, alright? Since I never let you see so much pictures, okay? Let me show you from the front. Yeah, to hear yourself. I hope you enjoyed the story. Next time I'll come with more fun stories to read. Bye-bye. See you next time. I'll come back and go to Ainara channel and watch more videos. Don't forget to click subscribe and bell. Bye-bye.